Stephen, good to see you back. How
you.
was your summer? Did you get any downtime?
I did. We got a decent break. Normally, well, at Rangers we get very little downtime because you had European qualifiers very early in the season, but obviously no Europe here at the moment, so a bit of a longer break. Got some decent family time in, but too much really, because I've been really looking forward to coming back, certainly in the last week, 10 days.
Is the phone always on though? Does it ever really stop?
Yeah, in my position it doesn't stop. You're constantly checking in with Johan and Christian, and Tommy from a media point of view. We're always in touch. So yeah, you never switch off, but there is quieter periods over the summer when the season finishes. The first couple of weeks are normally quiet. A lot of people go off on holiday, so the phone's less busy. But
plenty of business was done early. In fact, Philip Coutinho becoming permanent was at the Villa Awards. How important is that for you on board?
I think very important for the club. I think for us to attract a player of Philip's calibre and what he's done in the game. I think the fans and certainly us as a coaching staff seen enough very early on that we knew we wanted to make it a priority. We wanted to get Phil on a full-time basis, but we had to respect the fact that he was a Barcelona player and there needed to be negotiations. But I must say the owners and Christian and Johan again performed really well in helping me secure the services on a long-term basis.
And Diego Carlos, it was his first day this week. How's he settled in?
Very well. He's really looking forward to the challenge. He wanted to come over to the Premier League and challenge himself from a personal point of view. He felt he was at the right age. He's got fantastic experience. From a club point of view and from where we felt as if we needed to strengthen our centre-back position and really challenge the other lads that we've got here at the club. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they fight for positions. But I'm delighted to have him here on a long contract. I think he'll help us a lot. We've seen him in one session so far, and let's just say it was a strong opening first training session.
Sounds promising. And Boubacar Kamara as well, defensive midfield. Is that where you would expect to see him playing, would you say?
He's not an offensive midfielder.
Defensive, sorry.
I think he's a ball player. I think he's a footballer. He's got tremendous range in his passing. For someone who's so young, being 22, he comes with big experience, who's been at Marseille for an awful long time. It was tough for him to leave. He has got a lot of respect for Marseille. He's recently become an international player for France, so I think that gives you a really good idea of the level of talent we're dealing with here. He'll need time to settle in, and again, I believe he'll strengthen our centre midfield positions, whether it be as a 6 or an 8. I think he can help us in both positions. And it's still an area that we're looking to strengthen again. And we want to challenge the lads that have done really well for us in the last 6 months since I've been here. We want to really, how can I put this, make it difficult for people to have guaranteed places. We want to challenge every area of the team for us to become better and stronger.
And Ashley Young is back as well. He credits you being a big part of that. What was that conversation like to bring him back again?
Well, I think it was one area of the squad. After analysing it for 5-6 months, we believe we needed experience around the group. We've got a lot of talent emerging. We've got the likes of Ramsey, who's really grabbed the position in the team. And they need people to look up to. They need people who set standards on a daily basis. We need to have winners in the building who know what it takes to win big football matches, and Ashley ticks all them boxes. He's as fit as he's ever been. We analyse that side of him, we get all the data, and nothing's suggesting that he's slowing up or he's slowing down. So it made sense to give Ashley the chance to stay with us for another year, and I'm delighted with his decision.
So you've got that experience, and there is experience in that dressing room, but on the other side, you've got some young villains who've had a fantastic summer at the Under-19 Euros. Have you had a chance to speak to them at all?
Well, I was in contact with them through messages, wishing them good luck for certain games. There was a birthday in amongst it as well. But I must say congratulations to Ian Foster, as staff and the team. I thought he'd done a fantastic job. I watched some of the games, and I was really proud with the performance of our individuals. They certainly done it from a team point of view. I thought they played really well, but our boys contributed, to that achievement. So I hope they're really proud of themselves. We're really proud of them as Villa, and we're hoping from that experience to become better individuals from it.
Can you see perhaps some of those three playing a part in the first team squad this season?
Well, the ball's certainly going to be in their court. I think I've shown in a short time that age is just a number, and if you're good enough and you deserve an opportunity, I'll have no qualms of putting you in, even if that means pushing someone who's got more experience than them, if we push them to the side, because we need to play the best players. We need to play the players that are proven on a daily basis that they deserve game time, and I'll continue to have that mentality from a manager's point of view.
It's an experience you've been through as a young player coming through the system. How do they cope with that? What advice would you be giving to them?
Well, I'm slightly biased because I come through an academy system myself, and I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to achieve your dream. I know how proud you can make your family, especially homegrown boys. These are all local boys, and I know what that opportunity means. So the message to the academy doesn't change from my point of view. It's if you deserve an opportunity and you prove to the first team staff, and you'd have to prove to the first team players that you're good enough for the opportunity, the ball will be certainly put in their court.
How do you reflect on last season now? Because you came in partway through the season, a little bit up and down at times. And for you, your first season managing in the Premier League, what was that like?
I've loved the experience so far. It has been a big challenge. I expected it, you know, coming in against some of the best teams in the world with the best managers. I think it's a real brutal league in terms of trying to grab points. Every game's different and tough. But I've loved the ride so far. I agree with you in terms of the inconsistencies. We expected it because we took over the team 2 points above the relegation zone, and I think the first part of the remit was to go away from the relegation fight, if you like. I thought we managed to do that well. We put in some really strong performances, but at the same time I felt like we underachieved in certain games. So to finish 14th, we believe we were, you know, a little bit off what we set out to do from day one. But having said that, we're probably only 3 points away from where we challenged the boys to get to. So we're not far off in terms of the first 6 months, but after analysing that, we realised that we needed more support. We needed better players to help us become stronger. And so far, I think you've seen us deliver 2 or 3 of them objectives.
It's a very different pre-season this summer. COVID obviously restricted things the last couple of years, Wales and London, but this season, Australia, that's a big trip. How important are these trips for the team to get together, and is it that cliched bonding before the season starts?
I think bonding's really important. You know, we never really had a chance as a group, from a staff point of view, from a player point of view, to really spend time away from football together, to get to know each other more. So, you know, we're going to try and maximise what we can from Australia. Obviously, commercially for the club, having not been able to do it for so long is very important. So at the same time, we've got to go and try and maximise it from a football point of view, get the best out of the friendly games. You know, Leeds, United, Brisbane, Roar are going to be good challenges for us. We'll front all the commercial stuff in the best way we can as a staff and as a group of players. But the key for me is, can we become closer? Can we become stronger off the pitch as a group? That'll certainly help us throughout the season as we go through.
Do you start talking about aims and ambitions from day one? Do you sit down with the players and your staff and say,
privately,
this is where we want to be?
Privately. We'll have internal expectations. I'll have them from above, which is normal in my position. And we'll talk to the players and give them realistic but ambitious aims for the season. And we'll try and improve a lot from last season. We want to improve our league position for sure. We want to be operating in the top end of the league as high up as we can, and I felt like we underachieved from a cup point of view as well. We got difficult draws. You know, Chelsea and United were tough draws, so we're a bit of luck. We're hoping to manoeuvre through the cup competitions and do a better job this season as well.
And you have a new assistant as well. Neil Critchley is on board. How did that come about?
Out the blue, really. Obviously, I have to respect Michael's decision to move on to a different challenge. I always knew, working with Michael, that he was looking over the fence for an opportunity for himself. We were always open and honest. We lose a very good coach and a good person who's been good for me and been good for my journey so far. But the good thing is I've got good relationships in football, and I've always known if that day did come, I always prepared myself for that moment. And for us to go and act so quickly, you know, as a club, and get the support that I did to go and appoint Neil Critchley was really important, and I'm glad we've done that.
Will the players notice much of a difference, do you think?
I don't think in terms of quality of coaching, because you're talking about 2 high-level coaches. We'll obviously lose one, but we'll replace one. They're very different. They'll go about it slightly different in terms of how they deliver. But the important thing is that they deliver what I want and how I want the team to look. And obviously they'll get fantastic support from myself, Gary McAllister and the other coaches, Aaron Danks and stuff who were in the building. So I'm confident that it'll be very seamless, that transition.
And pre-season is underway now. Did the players come back with a reasonable level of fitness? Has it changed from sort of 25, 30 years ago when maybe players didn't come back in as such good nick because they're looking pretty fit out there already, or is there still a lot of work to do? I'm
delighted with the scores we've had so far. So yesterday was a full day of testing, and then we've done some football in the afternoon, and I'm really happy with how the boys have looked after themselves. I think across the board we've got better scores than what we expected, and there's been 3 or 4 that have really gone above and beyond and posted some really impressive scores. So I'm delighted after day 1, and it's very early on right now, but the next 4 or 5 weeks are so important to how we want to look over the course of the season. So it's back to the grind, the routine's on, and I'm very excited and looking forward to it.